Shalom. We are preparing Parasha Jethro. Now, Jethro means abundance. It's the Hebrew letters Yod, Taf, Resh, and Vav. So what we see on the left is man, which is the Vav, man coming in. And then we see the Yod, or the Yad, on the right, which is in the spiritual side. That's the hand of Yahweh. So the abundance can only exist or come into being through Yahweh's hand. That's where the blessings come in. And what we have in the middle is the Taf and the Resh. Now Resh sits slightly to the left. Now Resh means head, also means leader, also means mind, also means human reasoning, specifically when it's on the left side. And that is a warning. Whenever the Resh is on the right, it normally means spiritual leader. When it's on the left, it means human reasoning. And human reasoning always stand in the way of Yahweh's things. And that's the thing that needs to die. That's the Taf next to it. Need to be put on the stake, need to be dealt with before you can access Yahweh's hand. So Yahweh's hand cannot work in your life if you're stubborn and you cling on to the things that you used to do. And in our context, not wanting to let go of your gods that you served in Egypt. Not wanting to let go of the things that held you back spiritually. Holding on to physical things, in other words. So we need that little Vav on the left to move right in and access that Yod, to get in contact with the hand of Yahweh, so that the abundance can start to flow. So that's what Jethro is all about. It's also, in context of Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, the priest of Midian. Now Midian means strife and contention. So now we see why is there a Resh on the left? It is stubbornness. It is human reasoning, and it's within the household of Yahweh, and that will cause contention and strife within the house of Yahweh. Now this is the next enemy, the third enemy we come across. The first one was Pharaoh, which is the Nahash, the serpent. The second one is Amalek, your fleshly desires. Now the third one is strife and contention within the camp. Now that's normally where you get within male circles, whenever there's someone new coming in, we call it the pecking order, where people push out their chests, beat their chest and say, I am the leader, I am the boss. They normally confront you with a bunch of questions. What do you do, where you come from, blah, 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 blah. And in order to place you within the pecking order, responding in how great they are. So that's what the pecking order conversations are all about when you meet someone new, specifically males. Now, when you think about dogs, when male dogs come into the territory of other male dogs, you don't want them to lift their legs in your territory. So you want to make it clear, this is my boundary. I am the king of this area. I'm the leader of this area. And that is what Yahweh don't want. He appointed a leader, Moshe, a humble man, and he works through his leaders, and he doesn't want people to elevate themselves and say, I'm the leader, I will take control. Now you need to wait on Yahweh and ask him to appoint a new leader if leadership moves on or whatever the situation is, because this is crucial for a healthy household. And there's numerous examples, numerous cases where the house of Yahweh was destroyed due to leaders appointing themselves. And you can read more about it in the book of Judges. Every time they appointed a king for themselves, disaster came. Every time Yahweh sent a leader, they prosper. And they had access to that Yod. So we need to keep that Resh under control, put it under the Taf, which is more to the right, the spiritual yoke of Yahweh, to contain the mind, to contain this human reasoning and change it for the mind of Mashiach, the mind of Yahweh's commandments, his Torah, his house rules, the way he does things and his standard. as we saw in last week's parasha, with the rod of Elohim being held up high to keep the enemy at bay. In the same way, we need to keep the rod of Elohim, the standards of Yahweh's word, up high in order to contain the pecking order, the stubbornness and the human reasoning and contention that's been caused as a result of that. So that's the starting point for Jethro. Now we're also going to see the preparation. It's all about preparation. Now we are going to get access to the next festival. Now we haven't touched on first fruits yet. That is to come when Yahweh reveal the festivals again and repeat that. But in this context, we get into context of the next of the great festivals. The first one is actually 3 pilgrim festivals. That's where you normally go up to Jerusalem. It's for Passover, it's for Shavuot, and it's for Sukkot. And that's where you bring your harvest to the Levites. Now this is the second harvest festival, which is Shavuot, or what people also know as Pentecost. Now Shavuot is where they faced the mountain. Now the mountain is a big rock, and just like they had the rock that provides water in the wilderness, this is a larger version of that rock that will provide water to the people, flowing through Yahweh's commandments. And then they will take the rock in the form of 2 tablets with them, which is the symbolism of the spiritual rock that provides spiritual life-giving water to the people in the form of Yahweh's instructions. And we also have the bowl of manna and the rod of Aaron in the same container, which is the Ark of the Covenant. And through the collective, that is how Yahweh's leadership works and how he equips his leaders in order to lead the people away from contention, away from Amalek, and away from Egypt. So we need all those things that's in the box, that's in the Ark of the Covenant, in order to overcome and also to survive. Because if you think about a wilderness, it's a dry place, not designed for the flesh. So you need supernatural miracles to sustain you, to keep you alive. And that's the water from the rock and the manna, which Yahweh provided, and later on the quails, in order to sustain the people. In the same way, on the spiritual level, the symbolism of the commandments holds true in regards to the spiritual water of the word that cleanses, that also nourishes, sustains, and provide life-giving source. So we need to partake of that on a daily basis. I haven't touched on it in the last session, but it's in the notes. The manna relating to the Sabbath and the preparation for the Sabbath day is to pick up manna every day and a double portion on day 6 in order to have enough to be sustained while you get strength and rest during the 7th day. And that picking up manna is a daily interaction with his word that he's receiving. And on the 7th day, that's where you hand out what you received to your fellow believers within the household. That's where you share, where you discuss, and where you get sanctified, which is another symbol of the Sabbath. He said, it's a sign between me and you that I sanctify you. So it's a sign, yes, if you do the Sabbath, it's a sign that you belong to Yahweh. And if you partake in bringing your manna that you picked up and sharing it with one another on that day, that's a process of sanctification, where you eat together, where you discuss the word, and we get nourished together. And that's basically to stimulate the formation of unity, because echad, or unity, is what will hold the household strong. It will make it strong if we're all on the same page, we're all like-minded, and we're all standing on the same basic foundational truths. And that is what this year's Torah portion is about, is to align everyone with the basic fundamental truths. So we're going to look at the commandments, the 10 commandments, or the 10 words in this Torah portion, just to lay another layer on the foundation of the basic truths we need in order to stand together and to be unified within the household of Elohim. So I'm going to leave you with that. That's just a starting point of this parasha. We're going to talk a bit more about these things in the next couple of days, as well as on Saturday when we meet and discuss these matters together. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I will speak to you soon. Shalom.